Hey everyone, welcome to the Everyday Human Podcast. My name is Easton Taverna. Each day I'll share a reflection written by me and inspired by literature, poetry, music, movies, video games, and more. And after that, I'll share a prompt for you to write your own reflection. Together, we'll explore what it means to be human. Every month, we'll walk a new path, taking a look at life, death, the universe, and everything in between. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad you're here. For more, visit eastontaverna.com or join me on Instagram at _everydayhuman. The Cabbage Loopers Must Eat Too. Hey everyone, that is the title for today's reflection. It is August 11th. If you've been listening, you may recall my mention of cabbage loopers back on February 23rd. That one was titled Love Your Caterpillars, and was inspired by a quote from The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. So yes, those green little caterpillars who love to devour lots of plants in my garden make another appearance here on August 11th. Today's reflection was inspired by a quote from Wendell Berry. You may remember him, one of my favorite poets. We've had quite a few reflections inspired by him. But this time it's not a poem that I'm drawing from. It is a quote from the book The Long-Legged House, and this is a collection of essays. And today's particular quote comes from an essay called A Native Hill. Wendell Berry is a remarkable poet. He's also an incredible essayist, and I have a few of his books of essays, and they are wonderful. Incredibly insightful, thought-provoking, a little provocative here and there maybe, all in the best ways, and they really get you to think. All right, so here is that quote. It's a bit of a long one, and the reflection is also on the longer side. So let's get into it. We have lived by the assumption that what was good for us would be good for the world. And this has been based on the even flimsier assumption that we could know with any certainty what was good even for us. We have fulfilled the danger of this by making our personal pride and greed the standard of our behavior toward the world, to the incalculable disadvantage of the world and every living thing in it. And now, perhaps very close to too late, our great error has become clear. It is not only our creativity, our own capacity for life, that is stifled by our arrogant assumption. The creation itself is stifled. We have been wrong. We must change our lives so that it will be possible to live by the contrary assumption that what is good for the world will be good for us. And that requires that we make the effort to know the world and to learn what is good for it. We must learn to cooperate in its processes and to yield to its limits. But even more important, we must learn to acknowledge that the creation is full of mystery. We will never entirely understand it. We must abandon arrogance and stand in awe. We must recover the sense of the majesty of creation and the ability to be worshipful in its presence. For I do not doubt that it is only on the condition of humility and reverence before the world that our species will be able to remain in it. Wendell Berry, the farmer poet, pulling no punches with that one. All right, and here is my reflection. The doorbell rings and I sigh. I can see the street from my office, and I've seen the young man, a kid really, zipping up and down the block on his self-balancing auto scooter for a while now as I write. He's not from the neighborhood, and his tan pants, matching tan sun hat, and black polo in the North Carolina summer reveal before I even speak to him that he's here on business. Soliciting one thing or another. Solar panels, chemicals to kill quote-unquote weeds, or chemicals to quote-unquote control pests. I suppose it's my turn. I head downstairs to answer the door. Have you noticed all the anthills and spider webs in the yards lately? My ankles have the ant stings to prove that I am well aware of the habitation habits of insects. We're offering a deal on. I politely decline, letting him know I don't use chemicals in my yard. "Oh, well, we offer green, organic pesticides, and—" I let him know I prefer not to kill nature if I can avoid it. After an awkward pause, I have to put it bluntly. I'm not purchasing any products or services, but thank you. And he walks away without so much as a goodbye. I know it's his job, likely just a summer job. And I know these are multi-billion-dollar industries capitalizing on systemic issues of monoculture farming, government subsidies, and market demands. And I know they are selling a form of quote-unquote control in a chaotic world where people feel starved for it, or are exploiting some people's insect phobias with language like infestation, takeover, and silent killers. Clever on their part, and depending how you look at it, maybe even a little insidious. The psychological marketing and sales, fear tactics, information gaps, and ignorance used to lead people to believe that it's us versus nature. When I first started gardening, and when I first saw the damage certain insects can do to certain plants, tomato hornworms, cabbage loopers, vine borers, squash bugs, the list goes on, I have to admit that I turned to the quick fixes, the easy solutions. I didn't know any better. But the more time I spent outside watching how, yes, a cabbage plant can be destroyed in the summer by cabbage looper caterpillars, I also saw how it can thrive in the colder months when the insects have died off or gone dormant, or how certain plants act as natural deterrents for some insects, thus protecting the more vulnerable ones, if you learn the combos and plant accordingly. I quickly stopped using any sorts of these pesticides, even the quote-unquote green ones, that usually still kill insects indiscriminately. And I've noticed, too, there is something unnatural about a lawn without weeds, or a plant without chunks of its leaves eaten away, or little holes in its fruit. There is an absence of life. It is, in a way, a kind of death. And when you let the plants live and thrive, let them flower and let the natural cycles play out, it becomes something beautiful, despite certain plants dying as food for the bugs. The amount of butterflies and bees and rabbits in our chemical-free garden, and the amount of tomatoes, is nothing short of a fairy tale book. And it's something I take pride in. Working outside among the wonder of nature and the plants has taught me that what I perceived to be good for me, less bugs and pristine leaves, is not good for nature or the world, and thus not good for me because I am a part of that world, not some entity existing outside of it. I have learned to share. How many tomatoes can I actually eat? How many zucchini can a family stomach over the course of 3 months? You can get creative with your recipes, but still. Watching the plants grow and then watching the animals and insects build an ecosystem around them brings with it a sense of awe and humility. That is, if you allow it to, if you abandon your arrogance and stand in awe of it. The natural order of things has been happening long before I was ever here, and if I have anything to say about it, it will continue happening long after I am gone. And there ends today's reflection. This year, I'm happy to report, I suppose, that the deer have taken part in my natural garden in the back. To be fair, we have been a little busier and I haven't been as attentive to it, so maybe they see that there's less human activity and have gotten a bit bolder. Oh, but they've made quick work of my cucumbers and some tomatoes and basically whatever else they feel like eating that day. But there is something magical about stepping out onto the deck in the morning and seeing the deer in the backyard and showing my daughter, who absolutely loves them and also absolutely loves running down the hill towards the garden, yelling and screaming and chasing them out. All in good fun. All right, and now it's time for your reflection question. Get your thoughts down in your journal, on your napkin, or maybe while you are walking through a garden or just looking out your window. Ask yourself this: am I standing in awe of the natural order of things? For there is an order, even if it appears chaotic, Have I abandoned my arrogance? And am I working with the wonder of nature and not against it? That's it for today, August 11th. I'll be back tomorrow, August 12th, with another reflection. Have a good one, and take care.